Hey, what's going on, guys? Yeti here, and welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a gander at Reigns. This is being described by a lot of people as the Tinder of, I guess, RPGs, of kingdom running. You are a king, or at least one of a line of many kings, and essentially your job is to control a kingdom, keep the balance, make sure everyone's happy. I'm going to jump right into this. This is a mobile game, but also on Steam, ported over quite nicely, and essentially this is not going to cost you much. I don't know about on the App Store, but I know on Steam it's going to cost you around $3 or £2 in the UK, so very cheap game, but very good for the price. Honestly, it's cheap because as I said, it is a mobile game, so it's very minimalistic, not a lot to it, but you could honestly put a lot of time into this. I've put around an hour into it so far, and I'm having a ton of fun with it. It doesn't feel like I've spent an hour with this game, so don't worry about what you've seen on the screen so far. Basically, okay, so the best bet is to just jump right into the game, but I will show off some of this. You've got some stats here. This will make more sense as we go later on into it. So what we're actually going to do here is, I think the best way is to just jump into another one. So what you can see here is the timeline of kings that we've had. So every single one of these kings is a king that I've controlled. I believe it started back at 600 years, and basically, yeah, so we started way back here, year 600, or 602 actually. So basically how it works is you are a king, and every time the king dies, you just become the next king, and you have to control the kingdom. I guess we'll talk a bit more about the timeline later on when it makes much more sense, and the goals and stuff as well. So this is the main game, and you can see where the Tinder aspect comes into it, in that you will be presented with a problem, which you can read at the top here. You'll get this character who will be telling you the problem. Some of the characters will be recurring, sometimes you'll just see them randomly. A lot of the characters, though, you will recognise, so when they come along, you know they represent particular fields. So this is what you need to follow. This is the most important thing. So here you've got basically the strength of the church, the population, the strength of the army, and your money. And you want to try and keep the balance here as much as possible. If any one of these gets right to the top, you lose. If any one of these gets right to the bottom, you will lose. So you want to try and keep the balance close to the center as possible for all of them. And where the Tinder idea comes into it is, you'll be presented with this problem and you'll get two options. You'll either click yes or no, or it's not always yes or no, there may just be two options that you can click from. So honestly, yeah, as you can see, it's pretty simplistic, and you can understand why this would be good for a mobile game. This is the name of our current king, this is how long we've been in power currently, and then this is the overall year. We also have some goals. They tend to just like happen as they go along. So yeah, let's go straight into this. So my king, it seems our army has a very poor hygiene. We should spend a bit on this problem. So basically what these are cards. And some cards you'll see less than others, but honestly, as the game goes on, you will start to see cards a few times. But you start out with a certain amount of cards, and as time goes on, when you deal with certain issues, you'll do something and you'll notice you'll get a bunch more cards added into the deck. So you will see cards more than once as you go along, but you'll also get new cards as you go along as well. So you'll see at the top here, it doesn't tell you specifically what's going to do what, but you will see if there's a little circle above them. If there's a little circle, it will affect it a less amount. If there's a big circle, it will affect it more. So, but we don't know by how much. So, seems to have poor hygiene, we should spend a bit more on this problem. So presumably if we say no, that will lower the population and the strength of the army, because the hygiene will kill them. If we say yes, it will strengthen that, but we'll probably lose money. I'm going to say yes, and I was correct. A hungry reptile lurks in the east, you should send me to investigate. I actually haven't done this one, so I'm assuming that saying no will weaken the army, yes, cost money. Maybe not the greatest choice. So this guy, he only showed up recently. He showed up saying that where he goes, people die. We tried to get him killed, but he escaped, something along those lines. I will show the way of righteousness to your merchants, behold. Please no, I can pay, which will lose me money, or yes, which will probably lose me all of that. No, it strengthened the people, interesting. Sire, there's been a problem with... So honestly, for the sake of keeping it balanced, I'll go with this, just because that'll put us at quite low money. So occasionally when you'll do something, it will tell you the actual act, the consequence of what you've done, I guess I should say. Arnold of Random managed to enrage the castle while preaching at the market. There were a lot of casualties. Okay. We should create a museum of science to collect all living creatures. I can help in my spare time. So saying no, honestly, will probably increase the church here. The church seems to be the biggest one that's a pain. Honestly, the army doesn't seem to be that much of a problem, but the church... like obviously money and population you want to keep an eye on, and population seems to be the easiest one to balance as well. But the church, they just seem to be like, they come up with problems much more often than others, I've noticed. So that'll probably increase the church. This will, I'd imagine, decrease money, maybe increase population. Honestly, we need the money. I'm going to click no. And the church isn't yet dangerous. An ambitious lizard is gathering the baronies to become a dragon and crush you. Let's send the army. This will lower our army, but that could be dangerous for us. You keep the eastern baronies in a state of turmoil and unorganized power. We don't want them getting to our hand. I think my record here is like 23 years. I know I've had 21 years before, but I don't know if that was my record. It may be like 26 actually. I feel like it's quite high. I can teach you a few things about white magic. So we're going to go... So no will greatly increase the church here. So we're going to go yes. We lose a bit of money, but we'll do this. So at this point, this isn't going to affect it. So a way to trick the devil may as well. We did encounter the devil once, and he added an interesting interesting condition to it. So these at the bottom here are basically the extra conditions. If you pause here and go over to this bit, you can see the current one. So as you see, loaded dice is the current conditions we have active. You will never lose again at Red Dwarf. Red Dwarf essentially is something that pops up occasionally, where the jester will show up and he'll go, hey, you want to play a game of Red Dwarf? And it's essentially a random chance game where you roll the dice and see, you bet money to see if you'll win or not. So basically we have this active, which means that the next game that shows up, we won't lose, which is good. Also, you can see here the stats as well. Oh, I can see my high score hit 44 years. Okay, I knew it was something like really high. 44 years, and then it's 23, 21. So this is my high score. So you see we have 249 cards discovered, and we're maybe like somewhere between a quarter and a third of the way. We're on our way to a third of the way here, so I'd imagine there's somewhere between 750 and 1,000 cards available. I'd say about 900 if I were to take a guess. And then there's also some achievements here you can see. Honestly, I've not really bothered about these for the most part. They're just like extra things you can do. But that's secondary to the game, just to add an extra element to it. But yeah, this is just like extra information. Your high score, your cards, etc. Again, secondary elements to the game, although it is important to know what actives you have. For the most part, our current active isn't going to be a big deal, the loaded dice, because it's mostly just like if we happen to get a game of Red Dwarf show up, we'll win it. So it's good to be aware of that. It's good to know if Red Dwarf does show up, we'll win it, so we may as well go all in with it. But later on you may see, I don't know if you'll see it in this video, you'll get some more dangerous win conditions. Like after the devil showed up one time, we basically said the next person you say yes to will die. And then a bunch of characters started showing up asking stuff, and we had to figure out who we wanted to die. So yeah, you'll get more important win conditions as the game goes, or conditions as the game goes on, to be aware of. So you do want to keep an eye on that. Also, these I should mention, these bonuses, you do get more cards for completing those, so you do want to try and complete those where possible, honestly. I try and prioritize if I get a chance, even if it means I'm going to lose by doing it. I try and prioritize doing those just for the sake of getting the extra cards. Lady Seacoast tossed white knuckle bones in the air. I see 6 numbers. Okay. Oh, brilliant. Wow, Rex invites you to follow him. So I will follow him, but you want to be careful. He can bring you to the dungeon. He brings you to a forgotten part of the dungeon. So we're not going to go there. Reason being is because we can get lost, and when you get lost, you get stuck, and then you die, and the kingdom can go into turmoil. You can leave and stuff, and you can get good stuff out of it, but mostly I just die. Let me just adjust my mic, it's kind of low here. Raoul Groove, Rex wants to play. I'll play with him. Rex brings back the ball, we'll play again. This is just bonus stuff, honestly, and then let's finish that up. Rex brings you to a lonely caravan in the marketplace. Let's see what's going on in here. Don't tell me, I see a king. Full of glory and regal composure, in front of him lay a woman. Hell yeah, we saw the future, so that's going to give us extra cards. There we go, crooked visions. So that gives us, sorry, I thought my phone was ringing. That gives us only 4 more cards at a time, but it does give us more cards. She's quite, so you see we've got 250 cards, as I said, that's from about an hour of play. In fact, I can actually check that. That is from 53 minutes of play. So there's decent playtime in this. The one thing I will say is I'm hoping we'll die here at some point, so I'll wait until we die and I'll talk a bit more on that. She's quite nude and she's holding, oh no, I can't look at that. Carry on. That will be 600 gold pieces. No, you're a crook. Honestly, sure, take it. The Vikings are attacking us, we should defend our kingdom from attack. So this is going to have huge effects on anything. No is honestly going to affect... We need more money, so... Oh, shit. Oh, I got that mixed up. You keep ignoring my advice. Do you trust me, my lord? I sure do. The harvest has been fantastic. Let's feed the people. It's going to bring everything up. That's always good. It's just a case of, do you want more army or more people? Would you like to marry the princess of the neighbouring kingdom? I'm going to do this because that's going to bring everything up. A slithering snake sneaks in your sleeve. Okay. Oh, brilliant. I could build... Sometimes we'll get just like little flavour type ones from that. Or maybe sometimes I have noticed I've seen one and it's been like a bit of flavour, but then later on it's come back. It's come back to that and it's been like foreseeing later things. So you'll only be able to do 3 of these in one turn in case your turn goes really long, and then at the end of like when this king dies, that one will go and then we'll get a new objective. I could build a hospital to prevent a surge of epidemics. What about the doctor? Sire, your urine smells like rhododendrons this morning. You should avoid riding for a while. So that could come back to kill me, but it will weaken the army if I say yes. I want to strengthen the army. Do I really have to tell you a doctor can't run the hospital? No, okay. So, let's build a hospital. It's going to fuck our money up, but we need it. Mount care. The hospital will limit the consequence of epidemic and catastrophes. So as you can see, it's given us another condition now. It's just good to know that we have that active. There's been an explosion in the capital. We don't exactly know what happened. Shall we close the gates of the city? So this could be dangerous because it could be like a terrorist or something. But honestly... Oh, you'll also notice I've become Harry the Seer now. I got an extra... Again, pretty sure that's just a bonus. But since we got that... we saw the future, we haven't added that little extra name there. Enforced a state of emergency. That's the only way to deal efficiently with these terrorists. So it was terrorists, according to the general. The general, honestly, has never really done me wrong, but we need money. A large part of the country is worshipping false gods. We must burn the witches. See, if we say no here, that's going to put us to a loss, I think. So we're going to say yes. Bring the church back up. Because that, honestly, for the most part, you want... to keep it balanced, that's a priority. So you may think there that, oh, burning people, like I personally would prefer to have not burnt those guys, but we needed to keep that balanced. And see, we just became the coward for doing that, but if we didn't, we would have died. So you do need to keep it balanced, and that's like the main thing you need to keep in mind here. My family laughs at the size of our castle. We should build a bigger palace. Honestly, I can't afford it. Shall we go together to the spring festival? I can invite some of your pretty friends to entertain foreign visitors. Yep, okay, so we lost there. I shouldn't have done that, honestly. The country is now owned, and we get first the dogs. Your name now becomes an insult. After 19 years of power, it all goes to nothing. So the king is dead, and this is where the timeline comes in. This will make a bit more sense now. As you can see, we're going to get a new objective. Write a war song. So, we still have our conditions active. They're going to carry through to the next king. Essentially, every now and then, you'll see these. These are like extra little things that have happened. It's a shame it doesn't label them because I honestly don't remember them all at all. I genuinely don't remember what a lot of these were. That was the plague, maybe? I don't remember where it went all. Basically, these are just extra little events that show up from time to time. It's a shame that I don't remember. But what I want to talk about is what I've not yet been able to find out. And I've played about an hour of this myself, like I said. I watched Northern Lions Let's Look At, and I've watched, who else? Many a True Nerd play it. Someone else play it, I don't remember. I've seen a few people play it, and as you see, it goes on. I don't know if it ends. I don't know if there is an end, what happens when you get to the end. I honestly don't know, because we've met the devil, you know, specific events have happened that probably won't happen again. But, yeah, I honestly don't know if there's an end, if it does end, what happens. I guess that's up to you guys to find out. I honestly just don't think anyone's got to that point yet. So I, encourage you to pick up the game and, see if you can figure that out. And if you do, be sure to leave a comment. I'd greatly appreciate that. I want to visit our godless neighbours, except you need me here. So, this is going to have effects either way. I'd imagine that's going to bring down the church. Oh, it's going to bring down everything. That's unfortunate. General Blomington is a salmon swimming upstream. No, I like him. And that's going to bring our army up, which is good for the long run, I believe. You're governing like a loser. Pardon me? The best show you're providing people is with a stupid spring festival. It's not bad. Yeah, let's just like dance with ducks while a moron martyrizes the loot. So Dark Ages, it's embarrassing. Well, what else you got? People want drama, action, love stories with mature content. You have to entertain them. So I have appointed myself chief entertainment officer. If it's alright, it's alright, don't thank me. You know what, I'm gonna allow it. Church doesn't like it, the church just doesn't like the jester, so in general the church will Spin Doctor, good band. They have a good song. The church don't like the jester, so just in general if you say yes to him anyway, they'll probably say bad, they'll go against that. We can never be too prepared, we need to recruit some more soldiers. See, that's gonna fuck our money up, but I'll take it. I know you're totally ignorant about the economy, but would you mind making an inspired talk in front of the merchants? Let's do it, that'll bring our money down. Oh, you would have thought helping the merchants would have brought the money up. Okay. Our army is way too strong, so we need to seek trying to bring the army down and the money up if possible. Honestly, anything up, just the army down. My lord, our commercial relations with the east are deteriorating quickly. They're far richer than we thought. So you can take the time to think about this, although if you're in a crusade, you can actually start a crusade, and if you are in a crusade, these will actually go up or down over time. So like if you're in a crusade, the money will keep going up the longer you think, and everything else will keep going down. So you've got to be careful. If you're in a normal situation like this, you'll be fine to think about stuff, but it's just like another condition you've got to bear in mind, which is when the conditions are really important. Again, the conditions are mostly secondary at this point in time, but if you are, say for example, in a crusade, you need to be, quick with your thinking and careful. My lord, our commercial relations with the east are deteriorating quickly. They're far richer than we thought. What are the options? So we don't want to bring our money down there. What about a good crusade? Here we go. So let's say yes. Oh. The slaughter of infidels is a lucrative way to decrease your population every year. This is a coup. Surrender your power to me at once. So there you go. The army got too high. That was a bad idea. He's going to take over now. The army locks you up in the tallest tower of the castle where you will decay to rags and bones. So that guy didn't do too hot there. So next guy, presumably from someone within the army, the 21st king, is going to go ahead and take over with our equilibrium here. We should reach out to our audience, show that we care. The executions are boring and the fireworks silly games. So as you can see, we are in a crusade now, as I mentioned. So even if we wait, as I'm not doing anything, the money is going up, the population is going down. So we need to try and bring the population back up. Let's pretend I didn't hear that. Yes, okay. Whispering. A young woman claims that her son is in fact a bastard. Should you make the problem disappear? You never hear from the woman again. We need to bring the money down, the population up. Would you like to play the song? Do it. Yeah, go. Because we're going to win this. Oh, this is bad though, because we're going to win. So we're going to get the money. Oh, this is terrible actually. Okay, let's end this off here. Your people are famished. They're dead. You're horribly tortured by a mob where you reveal where you hid the treasure. Yeah, that one didn't go so hot. That was really unfortunate timing for Red Dwarf to show up. So he didn't last so long. So you'll see, sometimes you will just last long. Like, sometimes you will just get good runs. Like, we had a couple good runs here. And sometimes you just won't last. Like, this one here was so short. Harry, he only had 1 year. And then we had, again, we only had 3 years there. So sometimes it just won't last long, honestly. And that's just the way it works. So we want to honestly try to seek out ending this crusade as early as possible. I just thought I wanted to show it off for the sake of the video, but mostly I prefer to not have it. So Puck, he's a bit of an idiot, but mostly he's actually kind of useful. A group of fanatics have ransacked my hospital. He just like runs around and finds shit out, and he's basically like a shitty spy. No one expects him to be doing anything secret, but he actually gets useful information. A group of fanatics ransacked my hospital, pretending only God can heal. So we're gonna go yes. We should systematically blame the islander migrants for everything that's wrong in the kingdom. That should bring the money down, which is what we need. Duel with me. Show the world you can fight your own battles. Yes, let's do it. I will dust you. So this is an interesting little mini game. Basically, you want to figure out if you want to go back or forward. I just go forward. Honestly, I've never died to this. There you go. New move, Unstoppable Bull. What was that move? She ran away. Run faster. Our people are dropping down. Our money's going up. This is dangerous. The Eastern Baronies are at war again. Close the frontier. We need to drop that money. I can draw red ants to the bed of your Eastern Baronies. He's like a bit of a black magic-y type dude. Let's do it. Invent modern politics. There we go. So, We got a tick there, even though that wasn't an active goal, I guess. I don't know. I can draw, yes. Modern politics. The Eastern Baronies are regrouping under the banner of the terrible warlord. Send the army. Your people are famished. Yeah, I knew we were going to lose there because it was already down. So honestly, this is the main idea of reigns here, and this is pretty much how it goes. Let me just check the recording, see how time's going. Oh, we're at an episode, so that times it pretty nicely. So that's going to do it for this episode of Reigns. This is pretty much how it goes. Like I said, it'll be available for $3 on Steam, both Canadian and US, I believe, as well as £2 in the UK, probably around €3 as well. But that's going to do it. You can also pick it up on the mobile app as well. It's a pretty fun game. I've killed about an hour in it, and yeah, it was fun. It was a fun hour, and I'll probably play it a little bit more as well. So that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you want to check it out, there'll be a link in the description. Other than that, if you want to subscribe to see more of this sort of content, I'll be doing much more of this style of content in the future, much more, you know, covering different types of games and one-off videos, much more taking a gander at. So if you did enjoy, a subscription would be greatly appreciated, as well as a like, to let me know you're enjoying. Other than that, mine's the 8, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. We're about to lose here. Peace, guys.